Hello everybody and welcome back to Memory Gamma. Today we're going to, as I said previously, we're going to go back to the first faction, the Federation. We're going to go for another ship, but this time we're going to look at the other end of the spectrum. The last time we did a Sovereign and actually built it out to the Sov Trio list. This time we're going to go for the opposite, so not a combat ship, a support ship, ships that help other people, have more abilities for fleet support, ones that work well to help out all their friends. So there are lots of different options that we can do for this one. I am going to do an Oberth. Now there will be people that will be wondering why you do an Oberth. I am a massive fan of the Oberth. I have done the Star Trek Alliance, the campaign all the way through, done that with an Oberth. It's a great ship to fly, there's lots of potential, and as you see from its stat line, with only a 2 attack dice but only 3 evade dice as standard, it can be made quite hard to actually get rid of. Also, no red maneuvers, so you can throw the thing around like it's like it's a hot rod, and it will move quite nicely. So I have the USS Pegasus here. So 2 attack, 3 evade, 3 hull, 2 shields. It doesn't get battle stations on the action bar. Not an issue. We're not going for this being a powerhouse of combat. We'd like it to have something to help it to survive, but obviously what we also want to be doing is helping our friends. So we're going to look at things that help with friendly. So we're going to go type in friendly. Now also again, I'm going to try and keep this to faction pure as much as I can for these sort of like first few, just while I'm going through the individual ships. We'll start doing faction mixing in a little while when we start going through. Here's a particular rule. So for now, we're going to go, what can the Federation do in terms of fleet support? So there are several captains down here which help out friendly ships. So you have Jean-Luc Picard, who gives time tokens on himself to hand out battle stations tokens to himself and all his friendly ships. He's quite a nice one. He's good for just handing out battle stations tokens for everybody, and it means you do get battle stations on this ship. So, it's a good way of getting around the hole you haven't got on your action bar. Now, he has 2 time tokens. That can be dealt with in several ways. We could use Esri, which means it'd be able to do it every single round. We could do T, which would, if I bring it up, T Earl Grey, when you put the battle stations token next to his ship, you trade it for a scan evade, and you can remove one of the 2 time tokens from Picard immediately. Which means, you can do them every single round. But you don't get a battle stations, but you do get scan evade, which can be useful for defense. But I don't think we'll go T this time. I think let's go Esri, because she replaces herself in terms of crew, but also she allows you to do Picard every single round. Now, if you wanted to do Picard every single round and still be able to do something else, you could bring here a Riker that would enable you to do Picard as a free action. But then the whole sort of combo comes around to re-enabling everything, so I wouldn't worry so much about that. So let's go for, he gets a pair of elite talents. Now, there are several elite talents, again, which work with friendly ships. So coordinated assaults, a friendly ship, when a friendly ship's attacking or defending, you can spend one of your tokens and give them a copy of that token. So you can spend your battle stations to give them, a friendly ship, another battle stations token. That's very nice. It means that obviously you can load up tokens on this thing and then you can hand them out to your friends. Intercept allows you to take a hit for one of your friends. It's a nice idea, but maybe not for our support ship. We want this thing to live. Federation Task Force is an action, but it gives out target locks. There's other ones here that do, stop things from getting bonuses. They can hand out remove disable tokens, but there are Bajoran ones there. However, there is, where are we? Fleet coordination, here we go. All friendly Federation ships at range 3 counter as if they were at range 2 for cards equipped to this ship. Now, the wording is important. It's not upgrades. If it said upgrade cards, then it wouldn't work with Picard. But Picard, since Picard is a card equipped to this ship, then it counts, which basically means it increases the range of that to range 1 to 3 for Federation ships. Which, I said, in a Fed Pure fleet, this is amazing because it means you can be a long distance from the Oberth and you're still getting a lot of support out of it. Now, there is another elite talent, of course. Now, these ones also have their ranges. So if you were to have, say, Task Force Commander, that would also be range 1 to 3. It is a card on this ship and therefore is affected by fleet coordination. But because it's in action, you can't do both Picard and TFC. So, you could do... said Inspiring's nice, removes a Orcs Power token from a friendly ship at range 1. Now, that can't be boosted up to the range 3 for fleet coordination. But, what we could do, if I build this out ever so quickly, is you have Nyota Uhura. This is the Kelvin verse Uhura in her full crew member mode rather than her cadet mode. This crew member mode is 3 time tokens at the start of the activation phase to increase the range of all your upgrades by 1. Now, that doesn't affect Picard because Captain cards do not count as upgrades, but it would affect Inspiring, making it range 1 to 2. Which fleet coordination would then trigger on and allow you to do that, removing York's power token at the start at range 1 to 3. Now, that works if it sounds nice. However, I bring this up because that sort of thing sounds like it should work. However, that's a planning phase. She is an activation phase. So even though all of that works, you increase the ranges and then it triggers, it happened before she triggers. So that doesn't work. Again, I know it sounds a bit weird. I'm bringing up something which doesn't work, but it's one of those things where timing is very important. So I bring it up here as a quick little lesson in timing of when activation things and planning phase things happen. In the same way, if something says it happens in the combat phase, it only lasts for that combat phase. You can't use it to trigger something either in activation or end phase. So, to remove Inspiring. Now, Nyota Uhura is nice just for the increasing range if you've got other things that need increasing. So, what else have we got? So, she increases the range of upgrades. So, Coordinate Assault would become range 1 to 2. That's nice. Allows you to send, it spends that battle stations token for across more ships. You've got, hang on, I took off the friendly mark. So, we're still looking for things that work well with friendly ships. So, Coordinate Assault might work, especially now with Uhura increasing the range of our upgrades. You have Wing Leader or Battle Plan. Wing Leader gives a ship at range 1 when they're attacking or defending rerolls of a battle station. Battle Plan, so when you attack, if your target is within range 1 of you and range 1 of a friendly ship, you get to add a battle station result. Now, it's nice if you're all close together. Uhura makes that range 1 to 2. And range 1 to 3 for fleet coordination. Now, that would work. So you'd have to be at range 1 to 2 of the enemy ship because she increases the range of the whole card range 1 to 2. However, if you're within that range 1 to 2 of at least one other friendly ship, you can treat that as range 3 thanks to fleet coordination. So again, that's where the different ranges come into effect. So we could do... that's it. That's all the friendly ones. So I think let's go with the battle. No, let's not. Let's go with the coordinated assault because you can get your battle stations token, and then you can spend it to give it to a friend if necessary. Now, tech upgrades. So there are several things you can do here. A favourite one, which is popular, is extend shields. So, as long as you've got your shields up, you can time token the cards and put an Orcs power token by yourself to repair a shield on a friendly ship. at range 1. Uhura makes that range 2. So there's potential there. And again, now Uhura you can't do every single round unless we did something like T, which we could do. So if I bring, now going back to it, we might want to do T, because you'd put your battle stations token down. Uhura would have 2 time tokens. Picard would have 1. T would enable you to refresh Uhura, so you can use her every single round to increase the range of other things. So there is potential there. You could do that. So we build that out. Again, friendly. You've got comm station is you could disable it to copy captain skill. Not massively important here. You're already captain skill 8. Tunneling neutrino beam. It repairs a friendly ship's hull at range 1, which is fine, but it's an action, and you don't really want to be doing that when you've got battle stations, when you've got the action from Picard. But now we go detection grid, which triggers from the scan token you get off of T to give out. Basically, it means that your scan token counts on all enemy ships in your firing arc, whether you're firing them or not. Now, you are only 90 forward arc, but you have got come about maneuvers, you do have hard turns, so you've got a lot of potential to be moving around. Now, we've got a crew upgrade. So if I bring up crew, and we're going to go from lowest to highest this time, ascending. We're going to look for crew upgrades and things they do. So you have some which, if I bring up the friendly still, so Barclay's nice. You time token him on the night shift to increase all of your cards that target friendly ships by 1. Now, if you were to combine him and Uhura, it does make extend shields range 1 to 3. Barclay increases the range of extend shields because it targets a friendly ship by 1. Uhura increases it by another 1. Congratulations. And also coordinated assault, which is targets a friendly ship. So actually, if we put Barclay on board, Barclay, when he does his thing, he extends shields and coordinated assault, both range 1 to 3. And also Picard is a range 1 to 3 effectively, because of free coordination. So this means you can be very wide in your advance and still getting all these bonuses and all these effects. Now, Barclay gives you another tech upgrade. However, he has a stipulation that means that you can only use question mark upgrades in his tech slot. So, that is things like systems upgrade, the emergency medical hologram, rapid reload, things like this. Now, there are a couple more. Coffee, but coffee doesn't require an upgrade slot, so it doesn't fit. You can put it anywhere. On Utopia, it has to go into a slot, and it gives you a slot of replacement, but in reality, you don't have to have a slot to have tea or coffee. Systems upgrade is nice. It simply gives you a +1 shield and adds a tech slot, which you can use with Barclay. It's a question mark upgrade, which will give you a fixed tech slot for anything and have +1 shields, which is nice because your extend shields only works while you have shields, so you do want to keep your shields up. The emergency medical hologram can be used to, rather than disabling tech upgrades, disable you. The doctor, when one of your crew upgrades gets discarded by an enemy, you can put it underneath the doctor and disable him to bring it back, reviving dead crew upgrades. Then you've got some other ones, various versions of the EMH and the Optronic Data Core, which is you can disable this to either re-enable question mark upgrades or perform question mark upgrade actions as free actions. But I think we might go back and just go for a systems upgrade. +1 to your shields and give you a tech slot. Which point, if we go shields. Now, there are several different things we can do with bonus shields. You can multi-spectrum, which gives you another shield and makes your tech upgrades on enemy ships not able to be targeted. Useful if you think you're going to be up against things like projected stasis fields or all those tech upgrades which can discard upgrades of yours or turn things off. Metaphasic shields. As long as your shields are up, your crew and captain can't be affected by opposing upgrades. Stops people from, It stops people from killing your captains, discarding upgrades. Doesn't stop someone doing your admiral if you have something that can remove an admiral. Sherlock data can remove one card equipped, so it can kill your admiral. But metaphasic is quite nice. Reinforced shields, it's simply 3 points, or 2 points on this Pegasus, for +2 shields. Gives you 5 shields. It's nice. The transporter just allows you to switch crew around. Immersion shielding gives you an extra shield, and it means that you get to re-roll the dice when you crash into something, so you have a better chance of avoiding damage. The rest of them are slightly more not able to be used by this, apart from multi-adaptive. Now, multi-adaptive is, I think, what we're going to go for. It gives you an additional shield, and you get to roll your full defense dice versus minefields, and you get to ignore the minus defense dice you normally get from enemy scan tokens, and you get an additional defense dice. So it's a lot of stuff rolled into the one card. And it is only 4 points because of the Pegasus. Now, at this point here, we are at 51, so we have gone over what would normally be, things in our Fremont events, at least. When you're playing at home and doing any missions or just having random games, you have your own house rules. This works quite nicely. But obviously you don't want to overload huge amounts. If you've got a limited amount of points for your fleet, if you spend most of them on your support ship, it's not going to have an awful lot to support. So there's swings and roundabouts. Now, this is one thing you can do. It is very much geared towards time tokens and increasing ranges. So it does mean that said coordinated assault and extend shields on the round that both Uhura and Barclay are active, they are range 3. So it does mean that you can fix people's shields and give people out your scan or your evade token you've got from T to friendly ships. Probably your evade token, because your detection grid's going to run with your scan token. Or it might be not. It might be if no one's in your firing arc, you can hand your scan token to somebody else and they can get better use out of it. So this is a loadout for the Pegasus. A very support ship Pegasus. Now, the Oberth is, as you may notice, double tech, double crew. So it doesn't have weapon slots, and with no battle stations, it doesn't make the best gunboat. That's not to say it can't be one. It just needs more work and more building out to make it more dangerous. There is also still the construction upgrade, which, as the only thing that's valid for this, we could put on Dominion War Retrofit, another shield, and a universal slot. You don't get anything special for putting an Oberth in Dominion War. It did happen, but basically it was very much a last-ditch thing. It's a short-range science and survey vessel. If it's on the front line, something's usually gone wrong. But sometimes smaller ships surprise you. So, again, this is one idea, one build for the Oberth, and for a support ship. There are multiple other ships that work well as support ships. Mirandas can work quite well as support ships. They've got the large firing arcs, so they can be both gunboats and support. There are several other ships which have bonuses which hand out stuff to other ships. The USS Intrepid, for example, a Constitution class. But yes, this is a roughly comparable era of ship to the Sovereign class. I know the Pegasus comes in TNG, the Next Generation, whereas the Sovereign class is late after the Dominion War and equal. But both classes of ship were around at the same time during the Dominion War. So it's something that you might say, okay, I've gone out of it by bringing in Ur-Nuit or Uhura, but I wasn't trying to stick to an era. Okay, so this is how I've built it. You can build it however you like. If you have any ideas, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will read them and get back and comment back and everything. If you have any ideas for other ships you might want to use, a particular rule or a particular card you want to go into in more depth, then again, by all means, drop me a message. I'm always interested in other people's ideas and where we can go with this. And until next time, thank you very much.